right, we should be good to go. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I got another video here for you guys. Um, Not quite what I was expecting my next video to be, but like everyone's talking about it, and it's just like a lot of different news channels and stuff like that has been covering it and stuff. So I figured I would touch on it a little bit on that aspect. Um, so we got a couple videos I wanted to go over, and I'll talk over them kind of thing. And then maybe at the end I'll bring it back to talk about my final thoughts on the topic, I guess, about it. So today's video, I don't even know what I'm gonna call this yet, to be honest, but we're just gonna be like, it's about aliens. Okay, again. It's a big topic lately, so figured we'd just get into that. So without further ado, let me switch things over here for y'all. And while I'm getting ready, hopefully you can see that we'll have a live feed from NASA, hopefully, while we get ready for y'all. I think it's live. Hold on. Yeah, from the International Space Station. I just got to get my headphones on. And I gotta change this so you can hear it. Is this really all they're showing? They were showing something else before. Ah, yes. Supposedly live footage. Well, I mean, it's a little delayed, but live footage of our actual Earth from the space station. If you believe it, if space is real, if Earth is actually round, if NASA actually has been to space and all that bullshit. There's a lot of ifs involved in that one. Uh, like there's a few things I believe and a few things I won't believe, but that's kind of for a different video for that. But like, if this is supposedly Earth, where's all the landmass? This was live. This is on the NASA YouTube. This is not right. So like, obviously, this is part of a wing or something. I don't know, from the space station. But where's all the landmass? Like, are we over one of the oceans? It seems like, I don't know. Doesn't seem super realistic because I'm not seeing a whole lot of landmass right now. Would it have taken this long to go over the ocean if you're all the way this high up in space? There we go. There's some land. Anyway. Just wanted to show that really quick. And then it's just like staring off into space. There's something moving there. What's that? Anyway. So we got a Kyofu... Nope, stop. We got a couple clips here from the Las Vegas UFO mystery. These made national headlines. I think maybe even international headlines. These are on many different news channels. Of course they have the fucking X-Files theme on it because they're fucking stupid. But they're making light of the situation or whatever, dude. But yeah, so obviously you've probably heard about this if you know anything about aliens already. So it was a supposedly an alien sighting in Las Vegas, and we'll just let these people talk about it. Because they got like I think 2 different videos on this. So
it's a scene straight out of the X-Files.
That's unreal. I've never seen anything like it. What are they?
A family in Las Vegas insisting something is out there after allegedly having a close encounter of the third kind.
I swear to God, this is not a joke.
One witness calling 911 after they say an object fell out of the sky and landed in their backyard.
They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
The mysterious object that fell from the sky, even the officers apparently saw that. The green glow of the alleged UFO is seen on this newly released body camera footage.
I have butterflies, bro. Everyone saw a shooting star, then these people say there's aliens in their backyard.
So when that 911 call came in, less than an hour later, police were ready to believe it.
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard? Or?
But after a brief investigation of the yard, officers closed the case as unfounded.
If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
According to former intelligence officer David Grush, an alien crash landing isn't too far-fetched. Grush recently turned over documents to Congress claiming the U.S. government has a vast collection of vehicles that have non-human origin. An oversight committee in Congress is in the process of scheduling a hearing on those claims.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks.
Jesus, this loud. All right, so that's one of them. Which at least you got to see the supposed ship crash or the light in the sky that fell, because the other one I watched did not actually show that. So this one's a little bit longer.
Saw something fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green-colored men, not human, with like the eyes were glowing and they did not. It was not a human being. So. Did you see it?
Huh?
Did you see it?
Yeah, me and him saw it.
What'd you see?
It was like a big creature.
A big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
Because I'm not going to BS you guys. One of my partners said they saw something fall out of the sky too, so that's why I'm kind of curious. Did you see anything land in your backyard, or?
They see like a big, that's what they say. They see like a big something with lights. Can we go that side? I have a big yard in the back. You can see.
I see a cat over there.
Yeah, what you saw was a cat.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Do you have cameras?
One camera, but it's down to the company. I'm gonna take the camera.
This is going to turn into the movie Signs or something over here. I don't know.
Did you see it? No? I'm kind of curious now. I want to know if there's aliens.
I was with the iPhone. I say, I want to record something.
Look at this door.
Where did they go?
Well, they say that. I'm gonna show you.
Do you have a dirt backyard? Can you show me if there's And I'm sorry, did you see them go anywhere? No. No? You didn't? Did they probably go that way?
I wonder if that's his name. Is the officer's name Axon Flex? That's an awesome sounding name, but that's probably not his actual name.
Hey, did you guys...
But
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky? Yeah.
you guys aren't
We got a
aliens, are
call,
you?
and one of my partners actually said that they saw it too. So, if you happen to see any, like I'm not BSing you, if you see any,
footage?
no, like if you see any like little, well, not little in this case, they're claiming 8 to 9 foot tall green beings that were in their backyard.
Bro,
Sounds crazy,
seriously?
but you never know. Your neighbors, your fine neighbors over here. But again, I would normally discount it as probably not real.
Neighbors right here?
Yes. I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating it further. So if you guys see anything, especially in your backyard, please call 911. We'll come over, okay? It might, and we're hoping that it's maybe just some kids pranking or doing something stupid. They said they saw something fall from the sky. They checked their backyard and they saw something with like 8 to 9 feet, no clothes, green-colored men, not human, with like the eyes were glowing and they did not. It was not a human being. So, yeah.
Can you imagine what these
What's
people
up?
are thinking? Like, what?
Yeah, there's multiple people in this home, so we already checked. Huh? More than one. So if you see anything, just give us a call, okay? Hope you have a good night. Take care.
Imagine how stupid he has to feel. It's like, well, I gotta ask. This might sound dumb, but turn this down a tiny bit. Oh, we gotta blur that out now.
I got me. I walk pretty much just tired in the area. I'm not figuring anything.
Weird, bro. Why am I the only one who's like, okay? Weird. Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact time.
I couldn't walk back. I couldn't. My feet. Like what? I couldn't walk. I was like,
Your neighbor's still going around looking, so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys have, I'm sorry, no surveillance, no video?
The cameras don't belong to us.
That's from the company camera. So. No, the post. The one on the post.
The
landlord got a camera on the post here. Over here, I'll show you.
Well, they don't see it. They see it.
Yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it, but someone
Okay.
else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
I'm going to the hotel, man.
Yeah. I don't blame you. All right, man. We appreciate you calling. Give us a call if you see
I wanted to
anything
find
else.
some aliens.
Yeah, bro.
Well, hey, if those 9-foot beings come back into your backyard, you call the police and we'll come back here. Okay?
Somebody
If those
Yeah.
things come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Somebody call NASA. Tell them stop.
I'll drive by and wave at you guys. You're on your own, bro.
All right, take care, guys. Have a good one. All right, Slade, let's just regroup over here, okay? Go.
Going around and around.
They go back?
Marshall. I told my neighbor what we saw. He's like, no way. He's like, get the security cameras. I gotta see.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. He told me right now, police officer. Before that or after that, she saw.
Yeah, we were on a call by the Target right down there, and the Bonds, and she saw what she thought was a shooting star fly in the sky. She saw something.
My son
I believe in these things.
I don't believe, but Mom,
You
I
seen
swear
the
to God,
officer?
so we're not putting God in
Told
this,
her
you
that,
know.
hey, I see a big light
But I
right
don't
now.
see it.
Well, I know, I'm not. I mean, I believe stuff. I don't know, but listening to their stories,
wanna
I'm back there with
believe.
like chills on my arms.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's creepy.
You guys got the chills?
Yeah, it's weird, bro.
Why am I the only one who's like, okay?
It's weird. Just the fact that our partner saw something at the same exact
I
time.
couldn't walk back. I couldn't. My feet. Like what? I couldn't walk.
Weird.
I was like,
Your
what?
neighbor's still going around looking, so. know.
Oh, this is the other guy.
Yeah.
This
You
is
guys
his
have-
partner
I'm
that we
sorry,
just saw.
No surveillance, no video.
The cameras don't belong to us.
So that's from the company camera. So.
This is his partner.
There's one back there, but doesn't.
Landlord got a camera on the post here. Over here, I'll show you.
Nice mustache, too.
Yeah, the landlord has it, so they don't have access to it, but someone else has access to it. So yeah, like I said, we'll ATL the area and we'll be around here for the night.
I'm
So
going to the hotel, man.
yeah, I don't blame you. All right, man. We appreciate you calling. Give us a call if you see anything else, okay? I know. Legit, bro.
Wait, if those 9-foot beings come back.
No, hey. If those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us, all right? Deal with it yourself. I ain't dealing with that.
Somebody call NASA. Tell them stop.
I'll drive by and wave at you guys. You're on your own, bro.
Guys, have a good one.
Seem like kind of cool guys,
Yeah.
cool-headed guys, at least. They're not mocking them, at least. Witness details. Is this the same? Yeah, this is Las Vegas. So this is the last one in this, and then we have a few other ones in regards to a different incident or a different topic.
Southern Nevada is abuzz tonight with stories about the crash of an unknown object and the alleged sighting of strange creatures in the backyard of a Northwest Valley
Look at her
home.
face. She's
So
like,
last
really?
night, that 8 News Now investigator David Charnes reported about how Metro Police responded back on May 1st after receiving a strange call from a very frightened family. Well, our report generated a global response, and now piecing together the sequence of events has been kind of tricky, in part because the primary witnesses have been almost as elusive as the beings they say they encountered. Chief Investigator George Knapp is as perplexed as the rest of us, George.
As you know, this is not our first UFO rodeo.
Hey, it's fucking George Knapp. What's up? OG legend here, George Knapp. If you don't know who this guy is, I'm pretty sure he is part of the, or he used to be, he's like a UFO expert. I've seen him in a lot of different documentaries, and I think he's been on, Coast to Coast AM quite often. So he's like, anytime there's like a UFO documentary or whatever, he's usually in on it. So it's nice to see him again. It's cool. Because, like, if there's any talk about UFOs, he's generally involved.
We first heard about the incident in early May via the Metro
I'm pretty sure he's a journalist, but he specializes in this.
Police grapevine. The incident has a lot in common with other bizarre cases from around the world. An alleged crash, strange beings, and bits and pieces that don't make sense. But the police took this seriously, and so do we.
Just before midnight on April 30th, skywatchers across several western states saw a bright fireball streak through the heavens. A police officer working in the Northwest Valley caught a glimpse of the colorful object on his body cam. At nearly the same time, a Ring camera in the area recorded a strange noise and what sounds like a crash. One family living in a ranch-style home had a much closer view of the object. Two brothers and their father were working on a vehicle in their yard when they caught a glimpse of a sparkly object as it came crashing down, then were hit by what they describe as a shock wave. One of the witnesses, a young man named Angel, has stated when the brothers looked into the yard where the object landed, that spot was obscured and blurry, as if by unknown form of camouflage. What they saw next prompted a frantic call to 911.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it, and big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
8 News Now investigators have spoken with family members multiple times in the past 4 weeks, but each of the 3 times we accepted their invitation to do an interview, they didn't answer the door or their phone. These are some of the claims they've made in other public forums. Multiple family members backed up the story in an initial police report we obtained. Angel says they heard the patter of multiple feet in the yard. They later heard footsteps on their roof. They saw one of the 8-foot-tall creatures climb behind the controls of a large front loader stored in the yard as if trying to engage it. He got a good look at one of the creatures, he said, a greenish-grayish being with large eyes and long legs. He says he could hear its deep breaths, and when he locked eyes, he was, in essence, frozen in place, couldn't move. In the middle of the yard, where the object had crashed, then vanished, a circular impression was left in the soil.
Okay, where is this on your property?
Metro sources say the police dispatcher initially wondered whether to send a crisis intervention team to help the troubled witness, but then took the incident seriously. 2 officers arrived 38 minutes after the call, and by then had heard from other officers. They proceeded cautiously and managed some nervous laughs.
I ain't dealing with that.
A few days later, the family says 2 Metro sergeants returned to the scene to ask follow-up questions. The family says they also saw men in suits and sunglasses driving in a car with government plates.
They saw some men in black, did they? Oh, I'm surprised they didn't get interviewed or be told to shut. Maybe they did. Maybe they were actually like told not to talk to anyone else about it or to keep your mouth shut, and that's why they refused to do any more interviews ever since then.
Cruising slowly past the house in the following days. Nellis and Creech have denied any interest or involvement with the incident. Metro has indicated they believe the family that something crashed in their yard. But what?
Someone else has access to it.
You know, you mentioned, George, in that piece that, they were frozen because so many people have been critical of, like, why didn't they get their phone out? Why didn't they shoot the video? Do we know if there's even any video of this?
What was that, North?
Yes and no. So there's a surveillance camera in the backyard. The property owner keeps that because he's got a lot of expensive equipment there. What we were told is that at the moment this thing comes down and crashed, this camera went out, and it was out for a couple of minutes. When it came back on, the object was gone, but the circle was there. We've been told by Angel in multiple phone conversations that he shot video of the creatures. We haven't seen it, and we don't know anybody else who's seen it yet, so maybe he'll release it at some point.
It's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, all over.
All right, George, thanks for that.
Yeah, they probably the FBI or whoever probably confiscated any footage of that, I'm sure. But yeah, so now we're gonna move a little bit to the side in terms of, I guess there have been some recent UFO whistleblowers coming out from the Pentagon. Or I think it's from the Pentagon. Yeah, well, this video here is from the Pentagon. And this is just a newly declassified And then after this, then we'll get into the. But apparently, there's like a couple UFO whistleblowers going on, who have been saying some stuff. But before that, we'll go into this really quick. There it goes. This is just a military drone. Look how fast that's going. This almost looks like it's scanning for something or looking for something. January 15th. South Asian object. So is this on the Asian continent, I'm assuming then? Almost looks like you're looking like in a microscope and like looking at like microscopic organisms or cells almost. Just seeing a little like bacteria or something. The hell are those things? Is it shooting something? It looks like a video game or something, almost like he's playing Galaga or something. Oh wow, that thing's going fast. In the Middle East, it's tracking something. Having a hard time catching up with it. All right, that's enough of that. All right, so here we go. I got a few short clips about different UFO whistleblowers, apparently. Now, I'll play this, and then I'm going to say my thoughts on this. Because I think, well, let's play it first.
Official, an Air Force veteran, claims a top-secret program is withholding evidence of alien spacecrafts.
Certainly interesting. The military whistleblower has now handed over classified information to Congress. Fox's Lauren Blanchard has more.
David Grush handed over extensive
the
classified
classic
information to
TikTok
Congress
video.
and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, saying it exposes top-secret programs that have retrieved and studied debris from alien spacecraft, which he says have been intentionally withheld from lawmakers and the American public. His claims coming just days after a first-of-its-kind NASA hearing on UFO sightings around the world.
It's now our collective responsibility to investigate these occurrences with the rigorous scientific scrutiny that they deserve.
And some lawmakers agree the military and intelligence community need to be more transparent.
I think we should be open to hearing it and telling the American people as much as we possibly can.
I think people are ready to hear whatever's out there. Maybe it's a man-made aircraft, maybe it's otherworldly. Stay tuned.
NASA is expected to release its...
What is this?
Sean Hook's Newsmaker Saturday starts now.
Thanks for joining us on Newsmaker Saturday. UFOs, unidentified flying objects, or UAPs. Unidentified...
I'll watch that later. We don't have no 30 minutes to watch that. Here we go. Okay, so here's the one I wanted to talk about. So, obviously UFOs and aliens have been, there's like been a lot of activity in the alien world going on lately here, right? Or there's a lot of activity going on in the alien subculture. You know what I'm trying to say. A lot of buzz going on about aliens and UFOs in American public and underbelly of American. I don't fucking know what I'm trying to say. But there's a lot of talk about aliens and UFOs is what I'm trying to get at, right? And I like a lot of people are saying there's going to be some kind of massive UFO alien disclosure coming up soon. Like there's going to be a major bombshell going on or something where it's like America, UFO, the government, whatever, is going to like announce that we're actually not alone and actually say we have actual evidence of UFOs and come forward with the evidence that they have, and that a big disclosure is coming up, right? So that's what a lot of like experts, quote unquote, are saying in the field about it, right? Which is a good thing, because I think like if the government, which we're all pretty sure that the government's hiding more than what they're letting on, right? And like we deserve to know the truth. I think the American public can handle that, or the majority of us can. And that's going to change everything when you think about it, right? Because it's going to change religion on a whole in first place. Because if aliens exist and like proven to exist and real, then did God make aliens, or like how did they rank up to us? Like did God make them first before us, and blah 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 blah. Like it's so that's going to make that change. And then we got to like wrestle with the thought that we're not the only intelligent life out there, and in fact we're not the most superior intelligent life in the universe, that there's something more advanced than us even, right? Which I knew all along, and a lot of us who do believe in aliens believe that already, but there's a lot of people who are remain ignorant or unbelieving that aliens exist and think that we are the end-all be-all superior race in the whole entire universe, which, given the immense size of the universe itself, is kind of crazy to think about. But hold on, let me switch over really quick. Right, so a lot of people still think that like there are no actual aliens, that we're the end of, and there's a whole Fermi paradox, really, because the whole Fermi paradox is like, why haven't we came across aliens yet, right? If we've been exploring and probing the moon and have all these like satellites out, how come we have and probes out to even it's gone as far as like Saturn and Uranus and stuff like that? Like how come we haven't like come across alien contact yet? And there's like two ways that could go, but the Fermi paradox is trying to say that given that, assuming that the US government is not withholding information from us, why haven't we come in contact with aliens? So there's two ways to go. Either the US, we have come in contact with actual aliens and UFOs, and they have visited Earth, and any evidence of that is being held and kept secret from the US population. Or the other thing is just we haven't actually came across any actual evidence of UFOs or aliens, and then that goes into the Fermi paradox, where it's like, well, if we haven't come across aliens and UFOs, how come we haven't? And is it because that we are the last intelligent species in the universe, and all these other aliens other alien civilizations have died out long ago? Or are we the first to make it this far, and the other ones are like still more of a primitive species that haven't been able to get off their planet yet? Because we've barely made it to the moon, and that's if we made it to the moon, because a lot of people don't even think we really even made it to the moon, right? But assuming, there's a lot of assuming going on here, right? Because like assuming we made it to the moon, like we barely made it to the moon. We haven't even been to Mars yet, and that's going to be a huge issue just getting us to Mars. So we're still nowhere near a space-faring species. So we just the first that have come this far And if there are other aliens, they're still stuck on their own planets, like millions of light years away, and still aren't space ready yet? Or are we so far the first species? Like, it's hard for me to phrase this. So it's like, either are we so far advanced as a species that we are literally the first intelligent species out there, and that if there are like so far advanced to where it's like the conditions for life is so rare on Earth and anywhere else on other planets, that we are literally one of the first life forms to actually exist in this universe, and that's why we haven't come in contact with any aliens, because we are literally the first ones? Or are we the last ones and all the other ones died out? Or is it like maybe we're in some kind of quarantine, because like people who believe in the flat Earth thing or whatever, right? And they believe there's like the Earth is a flat round disk and there's a firmament around the Earth. Well, who built that firmament then? And are we just some kind of like intergalactic cosmic zoo, and you have aliens just like watching us from inside our little bubble Earth thing? Or are we like some kind of prison planet? Are we in quarantine? Are the aliens like, oh no, you can't go to the solar system here, you got to stay away, that's under intergalactic quarantine because that place has humans, and we can't interact with that because they're like a disease and they'll just spread and eat up all the natural resources or something like that, right? So there's a million different theories, and the Fermi paradox tries to like rationalize why we haven't come into contact with any other species or anything like that. I'm gonna have to figure out why this does that. But I really believe in like Dr. Stephen Greer, and I highly recommend you go and you check out his many different documentaries and videos that he's done. In fact, one of the other videos, that the last video I want to watch, is a small little clip from him, but I highly believe in what he says. In that case, in what he says, if what he says is real and legit, which I believe, and he's taken into account like different contact sessions him and some of his followers have, or fans or whatever his group that he has tried contacting aliens telepathically through like meditation and stuff like that, right? And what they say and claim is that like any alien contact and beings that they have come in contact with are all extremely benevolent, kind race of people, of aliens or whatever, that just want the best for us as humans, right? And that's kind of how I feel in my gut, like my gut instinct or whatever. I agree with that also, but I feel like a lot of people, like the government, the like the Illuminati, whatever you want to call it, like they're trying to make humanity afraid of aliens, right? They've been doing this for so long. There's so many different movies that have been in popular culture since the beginning of television about how scary aliens are, and trying to make the masses of people afraid of aliens for such a long time, so that when it comes time, they're either going to fake an alien invasion themselves or they're gonna like fake an alien invasion basically, or when aliens show up or whatever, they can use the fear that they've been using to brainwash the population and all the propaganda against aliens and stuff to justify uniting under a one world order type of thing. Or like this also falls under the Project Bluebeam and stuff like that, where it's like the government's supposedly going to like like fake an alien invasion using like holographic technology, and the fear that spreads, they're going to use that to try to organize all the governments under one world order or whatever you want to call it, so they can justify that, right? So then you got like this video, which is a UFO, supposedly a UFO whistleblower, claiming that supposedly people are being hurt by ETs and hostile entities from space. So it's up to you guys if you want to believe this or not. Some things are hit and miss. Like some things I'll believe, some things I won't believe. I think this guy is distracting people from the actual truth and trying to implant more fear into society so people will be more afraid of aliens for the upcoming disclosure, whatever is planning to be happening, that they're planning on doing soon. So I don't really believe it, but we'll see. So let's go back here.
Decorated former combat veteran David Grush went public last week with claims that the U.S. has a decades-old UFO retrieval program. Grush also dropped the bombshell allegation that people have been killed by, quote, non-human intelligences. Here he is on News Nation. Let's watch.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
Grush, who previously worked as a representative for the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, where his job was to help investigate UFOs, also said recently, quote, "I think the logical fallacy there is because they're advanced, they're kind, we'll never really understand their full intent, and that's because we're not them. But I think what appears to be malevolent activity has happened. That's based on nuclear site probing activities and witness testimony." Grush went further, saying the U.S. would do anything, including killing people.
See, I don't. This is all going against my personal beliefs, but it's up to you guys what you want to believe, right? My belief, obviously, like I said before, is that they actually want the best for humanity, and where a lot of people, especially in the military, will not understand that and will view everything with a suspicious eye and think that it's a negative thing and that they are actually hostile. And given our military, it's a miracle we haven't it somehow accidentally initiated some kind of intergalactic fucking war, because if aliens were hostile to us, they would have destroyed us by this point. If they actually wanted to kill humans, like kill all humans or whatever, right? Like go the whole Bender route. If they wanted to kill all of us, they would have done so by now. They could have easily wiped us off the planet in a way to where they would have been able to keep all the resources and just kill all the humans or whatever. They would have easily been able to do that. I don't think that's the case, right? And he cited something about like nuclear site probing, right? Which I've heard about before, especially during the Cold War when we were like close to going with war with one another and stuff like that. And I feel my personal opinion on that is just that like they were trying to help prevent us from wiping ourselves out, because they know that we have weapons of mass destruction and we could totally like cause an extinction level event where we kill ourselves and start a whole nuclear war. And they were trying to help prevent that because they're trying to get us on the right timeline or the right path where we are actually successful and not killing one another and not trying to be such chaos, if you want to say.
In an effort to keep this secret.
Yeah, so I'm fascinated by this. I don't mean to nerd out again, but this idea that we can perceive beings as malevolent because we don't understand their behavior is a core principle of Star Trek and why the Prime Directive is so important, the non-interference principle, an early episode with this thing they called the crystalline entity. This thing was going around, destroying planets, causing chaos, this big crystal rock-like thing in space. And they realized, this happens a lot in Star Trek, oh, it's just trying to feed. Oh, it's just trying to eat. Oh, it doesn't really realize what it's doing or the impact it's having on other species. And it would be interesting to interrogate whether or not, I mean, this is also the doomsday scenario of so many sci-fi movies. An alien comes, a human overreacts, shoots them, et cetera, and now we're in an intergalactic war. So there is something, I think, kind of satisfying and interesting about someone contemplating that it would be actually difficult to judge the intent of a UFO or
what are the odds
ET?
we encounter or they come here to encounter us, an alien or extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial, a non-human intelligence, but that is like within the ballpark of our intelligence level? What I mean is like they're interested in our nuclear stuff. Like ants don't have any relationship to human beings. Like ants don't go about their lives.
Exactly. Like to an alien race that's so far advanced that they can travel across galaxies and solar systems, nuclear weapons and nuclear power is going to be laughable and unimportant to them. They're not going to give a crap about nuclear power or nuclear weapon. It's going to be so barbaric and archaic and primitive to them, they're going to laugh at us. Like, to them, we are like ants, right? So they're not actually interested in our nuclear weapons. Or they're trying to, like, hey, dumbass, like, they're treating us like a little kid. It's like a little kid has a fork and is going to the electrical outlet, and they're, like, smacking our hands away and like, hey, dumbass, put that nuclear weapon down. You don't want to destroy yourself. Like, they're trying to help us get on the right track or whatever, like a overprotective parent or something like that.
I was thinking, what do the human beings think, right?
They're pretty interested in our picnic having behavior.
But they're like, we're not perceivable to the ants. We're so different and distinct.
But isn't that kind of the point?
It will be like that with aliens.
I think that's exactly what we're saying. That me and Grush is what we're talking about, is the idea that because ants don't perceive us, and we largely don't pay attention to ants, there are behaviors that we engage in that really have nothing to do with the ants, but that are harmful to them. Let's say we build a condo and it digs up an anthill, right. And there are behaviors that they have that are at least irritating to us, if not harmful. There's fire ants and more dangerous kinds of ants. But it's not really about us. They're just protecting their territory or trying to come to their kitchen for snacks or whatever it is. So I think that's a really significant possibility.
But what is being suggested is a similar level. Oh, they have crafts they're recognizably non-human, but we can kind of see that they're spaceships. They're interested in our nuclear secrets. That's like encountering like another country or something, or a human species, like a similar Earth-like planet with similar. Do you know what I mean? That's too close to like what our intelligence and interests and how we do things is. Like a genuine alien presence will be like. It might not even be perceptible to the human in the way that, in the way that microscopic organisms are not perceptible to us.
That's a fascinating point, because Grush also weighed in on that. This is from an article in New York Magazine that is a skeptic of Grush and has tabulated what it considers to be more of his outlandish claims. One of them says, I don't want to necessarily denote origin. I don't think we have all the data to say, oh, they're coming from a certain location. He proposed the vehicles the Pentagon is hiding could have come from a different physical dimension as described in quantum mechanics, saying, we know there are extra dimensions due to high energy particle collisions, et cetera, and there's a theoretical framework to explain that. Does that help? Does that help for you, or does that make it worse?
No, I think that's all possible, but that does not at all, to me, resemble what we're talking about when we're talking about flying objects people have seen and recovered pieces of ships and technology and weird glimpses of things in the desert or where else. That is very different, and that's, I think, largely a hoax and not true. When an actual alien presence will be as different to us. It'll be like a shadow or an ink blot. Or it'll come from it'll not be something we can even it'll be so foreign, so different.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, people speculate that, like, shadow figures or shadow people, because a lot of people end up seeing like shadow figures and stuff, especially like in supposedly haunted places. A lot of people speculate that isn't actually like spirits, but either like interdimensional beings that like we can barely perceive in this world, so we only perceive them as like a dark figure. Or other people theorize that shadow figures might actually just be like shadows from the past or the future bleeding into our timeline, into our dimension, or anything like that. So it's like, because time is technically its own dimension, right? So it's like time is existing both at the same time, and like at the same time all over the place. So past, present, and future is all happening on the same time, just in different wavelengths and different dimensions, right? So that you can't actually go back in time because the past is happening right now, right? So a lot of people speculate that like shadow figures would be either like maybe not an actual ghost, but either like interdimensional entities stepping into our world and we can just barely perceive them or something like that.
And to anything that it's almost like beyond our imagination.
Yeah, I really like that. Some people have critiqued, Star Trek and other sci-fi shows for this like humanoid paradox. Yeah. Why does every alien basically look a human with makeup on?
Alien, yeah. Well, right. Because the costume design was not very good in Star Trek.
Right, we didn't have sci-fi. They didn't have special effects rather back then, where you could have like blobs of clouds moving through the hallways or whatever. Yeah. But the way they do try to explain it in Star Trek, one of my favorite episodes. There's an arms race. There's this message embedded that somebody finds in an archaeological dig somewhere, and everyone's looking for it. The Federation is trying to get at it because they think it's like a fun artifact. The Klingons are going after it because they think it's a weapon. So are the Romulans. Everyone's chasing this thing through space, and when they find it, spoiler alert for a 30-year-old episode of TV, they discover that an old alien race that died out like millennia before any of us evolved out of the primordial soup knew its race was dying out and scattered its DNA across the galaxy, causing everybody to evolve in the same way.
You have to come up with some kind of explanation along those lines, or else it would be...
Sure. But Grush, I will say he's not claiming like little green men or something that just looks like a human in makeup or a small child in makeup. I think that what he's been talking about does contemplate other dimensions, non-human corporeal forms, non-corporeal forms, and he's been very clear again that he has not personally laid eyes on any of this. He was told by a source about the reality of some of this stuff. I also want to push back, Robbie. I saw some interesting pushback against some of your points.
Go ahead.
Some of your points from the last UFO segment. You mentioned that it was incredible to you that aliens would only have landed in the United States and only in rural areas, and what are the odds, et cetera, et cetera. It's worth noting that Grush says the first UFO case he was briefed on involved a vehicle downed in Italy in 1933, decidedly not America. The Mussolini government had allegedly kept it in storage to the end of World War II. Pope Pius VII back-channeled the existence of the object to the United States, which it obtained in 1944 or 1945. So the argument is...
Was that one of the sequels to the Da Vinci Code, or is that a real thing that happened?
They're gonna eat you.
I know. Look. You have to. I'm just expressing my skepticism of all these subjects, or maybe there's another dimension, and evil Robbie from dimension 19684X crossed here, killed and replaced the real Robbie, and is trying to throw you off the set.
I think that's likely. I also love that you're Scully and I'm Mulder in this dynamic.
Wonderful. More Rising right after this.
Yeah, so that's it for that one. I think this is the same thing, just on a different channel, but let's just see.
High level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone.
The U.S. may have a secret UFO retrieval program. Those are just some of the incredible claims laid out by the Pentagon UFO whistleblower David Grush. Now, among the claims from Grush is that the government has...
This guy's gonna get, mysteriously killed somehow soon, isn't he? He's gonna, mysteriously die in a one-man car accident with carpet fibers on his body or
Human
something.
aircraft in its possession, which has been kept secret from both Congress and the public. He recently filed a whistleblower complaint claiming that he gave classified proof to Congress and the intelligence community inspector general. But while News Nation has confirmed Grush's credentials, we have not seen nor verified the alleged proof that he claims to have given to investigators. Here to help me break down some of these claims, Bryce Abel. It's good to see him again, filmmaker and host of the Need to Know podcast. Bryce, thanks for being here.
Hi, Natasha. It's good to be here, and it's such an important day. Thank you.
We know the Inspector General of the Intelligence Service has said that Grush's complaint is credible. What is your reaction to the whistleblower story? Do you think that Grush is telling the truth here?
Well, I've met Dave Grush twice. I was there for your Need to Know, or rather your News Nation interview, and also the day before we talked to him.
There's a little Wilson
I think he is
thing up
credible,
here.
but let's set the table for this just a little bit. Last December, the House and the Senate both passed the National Defense Authorization Act, and it was signed by President Biden, and it involved actually providing the language for protecting whistleblowers on the subject of UAP or UFOs. And he is the first person to come forward. And as you pointed out, he's a very credible witness, and people are really going to see that in the special that comes up tonight. So I think Dave Grush is telling the truth as he knows it. The issue of proof is a different one because obviously he was allowed by the Inspector General to tell this story, but obviously the Defense Department isn't letting him walk out of the Pentagon with a piece of spacecraft or a photo of an alien.
Obviously
so that's going to have to be what the Congress actually does now. They're going to have to get into this, Natasha. They're going to have to do the investigation.
I think one of the most shocking claims the whistleblower made, perhaps, was about humans being killed by non-human intelligence. Let's take a listen to that quickly together.
Have human beings been hurt or killed by a non-human intelligence?
While I can't get into the specifics because that would reveal certain U.S. classified operations, I was briefed by a few individuals on the program that there were malevolent events like that.
No, I'm scared. People have just heard you say non-humans may well have murdered human beings.
That seems to be the case at one point, yeah.
What is your reaction to this?
Well, it's certainly shocking. I was as shocked as you probably are when you first heard that, but the man's credentials are excellent, and it is clear that over the last 80 years, many thousands of Americans and people from around the rest of the planet have seen things that cannot be explained, that are anomalous. And these include pilots and police officers and military people. So there's no doubt that there's something going on. Our own government has told us that. The question is, what are the details of it? Well, David Grush was a person who was so trusted that he was one of the people that worked on the presidential daily briefing, and he was even trusted enough to courier it to the White House. So this is a man that you have to take seriously. Now the hard work has to begin.
So this kind of almost reminds me a little bit of a movie I really did not like at all. I don't know why, because it's like that perfect Twilight Zone twist to it. But I just didn't really like the movie, and it just kind of like, I don't know, tickled me the wrong way. Was the movie Life? And in that, there's like a microscopic type of alien, and it seems to like die, so they try to resuscitate it by shocking it. And then when they shock it, like obviously it comes back to life, but this little like alien thing thinks that, okay, well, humans are the enemy and attacking me by shocking me, so I have to kill every single human, which is not very intelligent, but you know, I mean, it's on such a different like level than humans, so it doesn't understand. So because of some thing. So, if what he's saying is true, and humans actually have been killed by entities, unknown entities, then is it some misunderstanding on the aliens' part, where it's like we're trying to actually help it, and they like view it as a threat or something, so they have to act in self-defense? I wonder, because we all know how rash and brash the military are in terms like of this kind of stuff from the government. So I wonder if like there was like it just had to act in self-defense and kill some people or something like that.
I was saying, and
I don't
and I think
feel
that
they
the
would
one
be
thing that we have
actively
going for
malicious.
us as a nation right now is in a
Either that
deeply
or they just
divided
don't
time. Your
understand.
previous stories made that very clear. Here is an issue that has the beginnings of bipartisanship. The Senate Intelligence Committee that's taken a lead on a lot of this involves Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of New York, a Democrat, and Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, a Republican.
Bipartisanship,
They probably don't see
It's almost
eye to
like
eye
they're
on most
coming
things, but
together
they sure do on the subject of the government
and
needing
uniting
to come
under
clean
a
and tell the
one world
people
government
what it
or
actually
something,
knows. Now,
or the start of
idea
one.
that people have
Or at
died,
least to one country.
possibly he was also referring to the fact that some people who have come in contact with the craft itself have received some kind of burns and radiation effects.
Right, but that wouldn't be purposeful. That's just how the craft operates. Because there's been a lot of accounts where people who had close encounters with up close and personal alien crafts, they run or exude some form of radiation of some sort, which is in turn is harmful to human beings because of that, unfortunately. So like there have been plenty of cases supposedly where noting that people have received burns because of being close proximity to these crafts that they find.
But it's clear if you listen to Dave Grush, he's saying there's more than one kind of non-human intelligence out there that we're in touch with, and that one of them he feels could be described as malevolent. So it's a sobering and somber moment for us. But
maybe they're
I
up to
am looking
aliens.
forward to your audience at News Nation, seeing him for the hour special you're doing and really looking at this man and taking their own measure of him and asking themselves, do I think he's telling the truth? And I think as they listen to him, as I have for a couple of days when I did meet him, I think he comes across as an honest man. That's not the end of the story, but it certainly is the beginning of it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
So did they ever... No, shut up. Oh, Lord, fucking Trump. Where is it? Did they even do it? Oh, wow, this is like from a couple hours ago. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that later. I don't have time for that right now. That's the same thing. Alright, so this will be the last one for now. This is actually with Dr. Stephen Greer, who I mentioned before, and he is very knowledgeable, at least it seems to me, in my gut instinct or whatever, that he is actually telling the truth a lot about things and referring to the Whistleblower program. So maybe this will help get us.
Now let's talk about what this is really about. It's really about the renewal of democracy, because everyone says, oh, we're in a free country and a democracy. But how free and how democratic can it be if the most important technologies, the most important discoveries are kept from the media and the public and our policymakers? Remember, Jimmy Carter demanded to know about this, and the outgoing CIA director, and we have this from people who were involved at the time, told the incoming president, we're not going to tell you anything. So that's happened. Bill Clinton explicitly made inquiries and was denied information. So, I'm not speculating when I say that, when you do that, this is why in a court of law, you can prove that these projects are being run illegally and unconstitutionally. So that's a matter of fact. And that's happened to presidents since Eisenhower. I remember Eisenhower lost control of these projects in the late 50s. And that's when these entire operations just sort of got big enough and powerful enough to sort of go off on their own and would disclose what they wanted to the president. I think that's why it takes someone who's willing to issue, subpoenas and investigate and get to the bottom of it, which is happening now. The question is, how far are they going to be able to go before they get sat down? All this boils down to one word: courage. If you have the courage to do it, fine. If you don't, then you're irrelevant. And that's why when after I briefed Clinton's CIA director.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about it for this one. A lot to think about. Obviously, you got UFO sighting in Las Vegas, and now you got this Dr. Grush, or not Dr. This Grush guy, whistleblower, going on different news channels and stuff. I'm gonna try to look up the actual interview that they were mentioning, see if I can find that. But if it's an hour long, I'm probably not gonna go over it. That seems a little too long. But I'll post a link. If I do find it, I'll post a link to it in the description that you can go and take a look at that yourself. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns or whatever, post it in the comments below. Please like and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. I would appreciate anything like that. I'd like to get as many people as possible thinking about different things, like in terms of this, like getting the news out there to different people that we are not alone, stuff like that. And yeah, so have a great one and stay safe, everyone, and look forward to more disclosure in the future, hopefully.